With over 100 frac sand mining and processing sites, Wisconsin is now the leading supplier of frac sand in the nation. But does that mean companies operating in our state are complying with regulations? According to a recent report from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, about 90% of sites visited were issued letters of noncompliance, and nearly 20% were cited for environmental violations. This record is troubling for people living in communities with a mining company coming to town. So at wivoices.org, we decided to take you inside a small town meeting on frac sand mining. You will experience a local debate of the pros and cons of frac sand mining in Glenwood City, Wisconsin. In this video, Quick Trip CFO Scott Teigen speaks to his neighbors about his intentions to allow Texas company Vista Sand to operate a mine on his property. His current application with St. Croix County has numerous issues and has been determined to be incomplete. As a Plan B, Teigen is requesting that the city of Glenwood annex his property and assume regulatory responsibilities. But people in Glenwood City are concerned that annexation may sidestep regulation, creating an easier route for the mine. Let's join that meeting.
This is the very first session to strictly gain some information. We've got lots of issues as far as annexation. At this point, the city's totally unprepared to make any decisions. There will be no decisions made tonight. Scott, you are on the floor.
We're still going down the application route with St. Croix County. So we're not planning to pull that back, but you know, this is such an important thing to the Glenwood City area that we just think that we should have a Plan B, and that's what this is. It's Plan B.
Why not wait till the county makes a decision for certain what they're going to do with this? Why bring this up now to us?
Maybe I asked John too soon, but I just found out about this meeting this morning, so I think it's probably early on. There's no question about that, Crystal, that John's a go-getter, and I appreciate it. Keep it all out in the open. So I probably shouldn't have talked about John, but when I got the thoughts in my mind, I put them on the table too. So how we pursue it from here might go down your route to wait till we see where we are with the county. So we've not made any application. It all started with me calling John and thinking out of the box.
If we could get $250,000 plus the 50 jobs, plus the truck driving jobs, I think that warrants the council's serious consideration. That $250,000 would allow us to do some things we might not otherwise be able to do.
We can't let something like this slip away. Not just because there's some difficulties with some of the problems, but think about it. You know, if we had some industry come to town with too much smoke and everything else that goes on, there certainly would be some problems with that as well.
$250,000 a year isn't a lot of money when it comes to, you know, upgrading a sewer or upgrading the water system or rebuilding the city wells, because you need to go deeper before Glenwood City decides that they want to annex this property. You need to look really carefully at what it's going to cost you, because I don't think you're going to make a dime. And so I'm concerned about an outside company. It's one thing when Scott says something, he's a community member. But it's another thing to have a company come in from Texas who has absolutely no interest in this area except for profit.
I have twins that are in first grades. They're going to be in the school district here another 11 to 12 years. I just kind of wanted to inform the community and the council that Wisconsin's open enrollment. And if that goes in by my kids' school, I'm pulling them. And that's 2 pupils and the tax dollars to go with it. And I just don't know if anybody's ever thought of that. We can pull our children and take them to other districts. So I just wanted everyone to consider that going forward. Thank you.
I guess I would really stress the level of concern that I have, that if the council or the city chooses to annex this property in, are they actually saying at this point that we're educated enough or we can deal with this? If the Board of Adjustments and the zoning department is struggling this much with it, I would really be hesitant to assume that us as a city can deal with the issues that are as complex as this mine proposes.
My issue is water. Big time water. And I am a new resident and I feel like I'm in heaven when I understand the aquifers that nature gave us. Now we are going to pump those things dry for 60 jobs. I think we want to be very long-sighted in this. I also have a background as a scientist, and I feel more strongly that science should be involved in this project. We need to know as much as we can what this is going to mean to our population 30 or 40 years from now. And mining has a history of this. Cancer, whatever, wells, whatever. We need to know. I love living in Glenwood and I'm here to protect it and the water.
But first and foremost, we need a guarantee, and like we said in a school board meeting, Chris Shoney said a couple weeks ago, you cannot count on a handshake anymore. Those olden days are gone. If Vista Sand says, yeah, we're gonna make sure we repair those roads, yep, we're gonna make sure we don't run during school times. Do you have any idea how many after-school activities there are? There's one every single night. They go until 9 o'clock. Are they gonna stop running trucks at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? I don't think so. I mean, that's big money. 3 to 9 p.m., that's 6 hours of your day. I mean, I don't think we can count on a firm from Texas saying they promise they will take care of us. We need to take care of us, and we need to do the research.
I'm glad our township is under St. Clair County zoning because I don't feel that we are capable or could even begin to be capable to research this permit to see if it was, if everything was done correctly. So I'm a very big advocate of this project. I am totally opposed to the annexation process. The town of Glen, if that happens, it's going to be a very big blow to the town of Glenwood.
I will tell you for a fact, my taxes raised this year by $200. I was told my property taxes would decrease because the mine would carry taxes. Well, that didn't happen. $200 might not be a lot, but if it's your 200 and your 200, two things that stick out in my mind from all the meetings I have attended. DNR said they didn't have monitors small enough to monitor the air. They were working on it. That was last summer. Public Health said, we don't know, we're depending on DNR. Neither of them have the staff because of all the federal cuts. Now, I ask you people in power, who is looking out for Glenwood City?
We are in a dialogue with Anders as legal counsel with Vista Sands. We were in a little bit of turmoil because Weld Riley Prenn, who Anders works with, was our legal counsel on this until Vista Sands employed them. So we've secured different legal counsel, and that legal counsel will be having discussion with Anders and whatever representatives Vista Sand has. There has been preliminary discussion, though, about 3 key points with Anders and myself, and they have been prepared to have a letter come from Vista Sands. I've asked them to hold off on that letter until our legal counsel can get involved in the dialogue.
The school, they even said at that last informational meeting, they're gonna monitor the air for 6 months. That's what they're agreeing to. They've already asked the DNR for an exemption from air pollution or air monitoring. So now they're gonna agree to monitor for 6 months. On a 24 to 27 year project, 6 months is not good enough. I have kids that go there. I got a 4-year-old that hasn't even started school yet. He's gonna go there his whole life. These are the things that we need to watch out for and protect ourselves from. And that's the one thing that's where the county is getting all this information and they're doing a good job about it. If the county says that, no, this is too close to school and these are the reasons why, do you think the city or the council is gonna have a better reason to permit this? There's gonna be a reason. The county's looking into every avenue. They're having experts come up there. They're not just all sitting around, you know, making their own decisions on it. They have experts, they have reports, they have studies. So if at least the county does it, they're gonna have proper zoning.
This is actually gonna drive people away, I think. You're gonna look at people coming into the area, aren't gonna wanna come into the area, first of all. With that kind of industry, the kids aren't gonna wanna stay. The kids are gonna, well, I don't wanna be work at a sand mine. You know, times have changed for that heavy industry. Yeah, it's quick money. And if quick money is better than quality of life, I mean, that's the choice you're faced with, either quick money or quality of life. Quality of life will make this community grow. I mean, you know, it's gonna be the Glenwood sand pilers. I mean, once the hills are gone, there aren't gonna be hilltoppers anymore. I mean, really, think about what's going on.
But kids are leaving this town because there are no jobs now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a job. When I was growing up, this town had a lot of jobs. Had a couple creameries, had a lumberyard, had a couple car dealerships, had a couple implement dealerships. Those jobs are all gone. You know what's happened? We don't have any volunteers to man the fire department or the ambulance service. You need a fire department out there in the middle of the afternoon. You'd be lucky if we're going to muster 4 or 5 guys come out and help you out. When I first got in the fire department 50 years ago, everybody on the fire department lived and worked in this community. Today, 2 or 3 people, I can say that. So we have a problem. We need jobs here. Now, the sand mine might not be the answer, but we need jobs here. Yeah.
This is a wonderful community. We've lived 25 years down there in the valley, and it is wonderful. In the evenings, we can sit out on our patio and enjoy the quietness and everything there. It's wonderful. But I would like to say something about the money that's supposed to magically flow into this community, all these jobs. These people aren't going to live in Glenwood City.
My main concern is I have a daughter in kindergarten that has asthma. I have 2 other children that are going to be going through the school system also for the next 12 years. I would like to see a study of what's going to happen to my daughter who has asthma. Yeah, we're going to monitor this, and there's levels, the right levels or the perfect amount we can all inhale. But who's to say that that is a good level for my daughter who has asthma? Who's going to be by my side when she's 20 years old and has terrible lung issues, but we didn't have the amount of time or the years to research all this? Who's going to be there then to help me at that point? No one. With the open enrollment comment, that's what will happen with my 3 children. We will not stay. We will not stay. I will have to move away from my in-laws. We will not stay. I am sorry. It gets personal, very personal.
And we decided that if the mine ends up going in, no matter who approves it, we're gonna move. And I don't even have any children, but my 2 dogs that you've all seen me walking twice a day no matter what, I don't even want to put them in this kind of danger. Dogs. I can't even believe you guys are considering your children. Putting them in this danger. It's like, why even consider it? It just doesn't even make any sense to me. The particles are too small to be monitored, and it's outrageous. They're like tiny little pieces of glass. Like you inhale glass, it goes in your lungs, it embeds there, and then after that you keep getting scarring over and over and over again.
And for the people that have lived here a long time, Carlton's lived here a long time, you remember when they were going to mine the sand out of that hill down there anyway for the glass factory about, what, 40 years ago?
It was frac sand at that time.
It was frac sand, and that was the same thing. It was for the glass industry. And the only reason that didn't happen is because the building industry fell in the toilet and they didn't do it. Back 40 years ago, there probably wasn't even any regulations governing that whole thing. I don't know what. I don't remember.
That was Sheely, I was thinking about.
Yeah, that was Sheely, yeah. And Sheely's still in business, but I don't know, it just, the job, I'll admit, if the sand mine comes to town, I was a heavy equipment operator for years, I'm going to apply. And So then there will be somebody that lives in Glenwood that has a job there, so.
We had trivets that we put our hot plates on that had asbestos in them. Because you know what? We didn't know the dangers of asbestos then. And it took another 30 or 40 years before we realized the impact of this. And when I was handling these claims and watching these people die, which I did, and trying to compensate them somehow for the loss of their loved one, sometimes it would not be just only the man that worked in the plant that would die. Sometimes it would be his wife that would die because she would wash the clothes of the man that worked there, or whatever. This stuff is so, what do you call it? You know, it's invasive. It's everywhere. It's tiny. You don't see it. You don't know it. None of us knew the impact when we put our hot casserole on the hot plate in 1955 that stuff would kill us someday. And this has this potential impact on our community as well. And the things that we know now about it, we won't begin to find out the real impact until our kids are 30 years old. That's just my experience, and I've had a lot of it.
I think it can be done right.
It's not visible, sir.
I think it can be done right. And are all mines run right? No. I'm sure they're not. But I think it can be done right, and I think this body has to at least take that into consideration. Is there a way that everybody can be happy and satisfied and make this work? And I think that's where we're at. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Dave.